Joe, thank you so much for joining us. England is coming at the back of some great form considering the summer was really good for you. One against New Zealand, won that one-off test against India and then beat South Africa as well. So it's been a good summer for you as a side, but what would you say is the biggest strength for your team?
If you look throughout the summer, I think we played in a variety of conditions throughout the different series that we had and showed that we were adaptable at different times. So this is another opportunity to see if we can manage to do that away from home in conditions that we've obviously not seen as a test team for, what would it be, nearly 20 years. So it's a great chance to come and sort of see where we're at in these conditions and see if we can keep developing and keep pushing all the hard work and good stuff that we've done till now.
Now we're talking about the England side. What about the Pakistan side? I mean, what do you think is the biggest challenge against them for you as a side?
I think they're a very well-rounded team, to be honest. I think they've got some high-quality fast bowlers. There's clearly a lot of talent within the spin department and some world-class batting in there too. So I think they've got all bases covered. They've obviously experienced playing at home again for the last couple of years, which must have been amazing for all the players, and it's been great to see as someone that loves Test cricket.
So a lot of talk around the Fab Four, Fab Five, we keep hearing about that. You're certainly on top of the ranks when it comes to the Fab Four, Fab Five, but Babar is sort of part of that list now being spoken about. You just mentioned his name as well. I mean, how do you rate him? And you've played a lot against him as well in the last few months, in the last few years. What do you make of him as a player?
I think he's a wonderful player. I think he's got a very well-rounded game. I think he manages situations very well within the game, and his Test record's been very good all around the world. So I think he's a very well-rounded cricketer. He's gained a lot of confidence over the last couple of years, clearly, and he keeps going from strength to strength. So we all know how good a player he is. You don't do what he's achieved so far in the game without being a really talented player. And yeah, we're going to try really hard to keep him quiet this series, which we know will be hard work. But when you come up against good players, you need to up your game, and hopefully we can do that.
You were scoring runs last year as well, 1,700 runs, and you keep on scoring so many runs. You just keep adding on to that. But there have been moments in your career when it hasn't been that way. Every player sort of goes through that. How do you deal with failure? Is it something that you sort of go home and think about? How do you come out of it?
Over the last couple of years, I've tried to really work hard on working out what areas I needed to develop, what I needed to be slightly better at, and what were my real strengths within my game, and then manipulate my practice and my play in game as well around that. And I think sometimes you've got to be able to put your hands up and say well bowled to the opposition or to the teams you play against, and be at peace with one mode of dismissal in extreme conditions. I think if you can limit your game to that, then it can make it easier. So it just comes with experience a little bit as well. I'm very fortunate. I've played a lot of cricket, played a lot, especially in this format, and I know that I've got runs in the bank. I've done it here before, and yeah, just try and always fall back onto that and understand that you've got an opportunity every time you go out to bat. It's not will you make runs. It's an opportunity to go and help your team win a game, and keep that at the forefront of your mind. And generally, that's what helps me try and get the best out of us.
Now you've crossed that important milestone of 10,000 test runs recently, which is quite incredible. And we heard Mark Waugh, he said that he's probably seeing you crossing that 15,000 runs mark as well. So is that something which is a personal goal of yours, that you want to score more runs in test matches? Do you have any such milestones, or is it more like, oh, I'm just going to play for the team and let things be as they are?
No, I think the biggest motivator for me, and the one thing that really drives me, is winning games of cricket and being part of something bigger than just yourself. And of course, to do that, you have a better chance if you're going out and you're delivering and you're scoring big runs. But that would be one thing I would love to say at the end of my career, is that I won more games than anyone else playing Test cricket for England. I'm pretty sure that Jimmy's miles ahead of everyone at the moment. But that would be for me, that would be a massive thing. I think there's nothing better than sat at the end of 5 days of hard work with the group that you've experienced ups and downs and twists and turns throughout those 5 days, to come together and be able to really enjoy that as as a squad is really special, and something that we miss for a long period at the back end of my captaincy. So this summer's really sort of relit that fire, and you just want more and more of it. So that'll be a big driver for me. It's always great when you have personal milestones, but when I look back at the best moments of my career, they're not of me hitting a boundary somewhere. They're of me sharing it with the rest of the group, or celebrating someone else's success that I've been a part of. And I think they're the things that I will treasure long after I finish playing cricket.
What's the secret behind your consistency? How are you able to convert your starts every time? There's so many people, so many aspiring players that are going to be watching this. I mean, how are you able to convert those 50s into hundreds, and then those hundreds into double hundreds?
I think by not being able to do it for a period of time. There's a good chunk of my career where I really struggled getting between 50 and 100, and getting really frustrated that I wasn't converting, I wasn't making bigger scores. I was consistently getting in, but consistently not going on to make those big numbers that help you set up a game or win a game of cricket. So I think learning how to manage those different passages of play, understanding that when to sort of be slightly more aggressive, when to absorb a little bit more pressure on occasions as well. They're all things that come with experience and come with getting it wrong sometimes. And then just trying to stay as level as possible, not getting too frustrated when it's not working for you. Try and think at times a little bit less emotionally and slightly more logically, and on the same merit, not being too much either way, just trying to stay somewhere in the middle of it all, and nice and calm along with it.
Now, you've scored runs almost against all oppositions, and you faced different kinds of bowlers, but is there any bowler who you found to be the toughest when playing?
I don't want to say anyone that's currently playing. I don't think that would work in my favour, but certainly there's a number of players that I've played against, whether it be in county cricket, in international cricket, who I've got a huge amount of respect for, and that on occasions made me look silly. Remember facing Ryan Harris and Mitchell Johnson down in Australia. Ryan Harris I found really difficult. I think he was one of those guys that consistently bowled at high pace, hit good areas, and then clearly Mitchell Johnson got the headlines throughout that whole series and that tour that we had down there when we lost 5-0. From a spin's perspective, I faced a number of brilliant spinners. Syed Ajmal was very challenging when I played him in county cricket. So and clearly there's some high class spinners, especially in home conditions when you go to places like India and likes of Ashwin and stuff. So I've been very fortunate to play against some wonderful players, and thankfully there's been the odd occasion where I've had success against them. But they're just a few guys that I think had my badge on a couple of occasions, definitely.
I know it's unfair to make comparisons, and every player sort of has his own strengths, but where do you yourself see yourself in those 5-4? I mean,
I don't see it as a pecking order. I see it as like a
pack.
A circle, if you like. I think everyone, like you say, everyone has the strengths, everyone has the weaknesses. Look at someone like Kane, he's very technically gifted. Someone like Virat has an array of shots and an understanding that he can score anywhere around the wicket. I'd say Babar's very similar. And then Steve Smith, I think he just understands the game extremely well. He solves problems brilliantly, works things out on the field, and delivers consistently under pressure. And that's the beauty of playing in an era with these guys, is you've got the opportunity to learn from them and pick different things from their game and add them to yours. And I feel very lucky to be able to have done that, come across them, have conversations with them, learn from them.
Parting thoughts? I mean, you're somebody who's done really well in Test cricket. What do you think is the future? I know that you spoke about it in one of your interviews that, we just want to entertain people and bring a new audience into this format. What do you personally think is now the future, especially with all the T20 leagues that are out there now?
I think that's just it. I think as players, you have a responsibility to play in a manner which does entertain, which makes people want to turn on the telly, makes people want to flood to the grounds and watch. and that's certainly how we'll go about our cricket for the foreseeable future. And I can promise you now, as a player, it makes it that much more entertaining to play and be a part of. So, of course, we've only seen the best of it so far. We've had a lot of success in a short period of time. Our challenge is to sustain that and keep pushing and keep driving and seeing where we can get to playing in this manner. But that's exciting, and you know, we want everyone to come on that journey with us and enjoy, you know, the cricket that's played when we try and play that way. And as I say, we're playing against a very talented Pakistan team and expect it to be a wonderful series. So really excited to get going now and get into it.
Thank you so much for your time, and hope you enjoy your time here, and try and enjoy the cuisine as well.
We will definitely. Thank you. Cheers, thank you.